psychological foundation of the curriculum psychology. So when we say psychological or psychology, it is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. It is concerned with the question on how people learn. Maybe some of you thinking that why should the curriculum developer have knowledge about the psychology of learning? It is simply because psychology learning theories provide insight into the understanding, the teaching and learning process on what is learning, why do learners respond as they do to the teacher's efforts, what are those impact into the school and culture have on student learning. Psychology theories provide principle and direction for a curriculum developer on how should curriculum be organized to enhance learning, what is the optimal level of the student participation in the learning, the curriculum's various content. So, let's proceed to the three major groups of learning theories that help to shape in crafting the curriculum. First is behaviorist psychology or behaviorism. It is the theory of learning which states all the behavior are learned through interaction with the environmental through a process called conditioning. That behavior is simply a response to a environment stimuli, meaning to say that behaviorist psychology is the learning that tends to focus on conditioning on modifying behavior through reinforcement and reward.
Physiologist Ivan Pavlov made an accidental discovery that was to become a landmark in the field of learning. Pavlov was studying the salivation reflex in dogs as part of his research on digestion. He noticed that after the dogs had been brought to the laboratory many times, they would start to salivate even before food was given. What had altered the dog's inborn salivation reflex? Pavlov was fascinated and changed the direction of his research to focus on what he called conditional reflexes. Pavlov knew that placing food in the dog's mouth naturally caused salivation. The unconditioned stimulus food produced the unconditioned response, salivation. Through a series of ingenious experiments, he found that if a new and unrelated stimulus, like a bell, was repeatedly sounded before the food was given, the dogs would learn to salivate when they heard the bell, even when no food followed. The conditioned stimulus, the bell, produced the conditioned response, salivation. Moreover, almost any type of stimulus when paired with food could produce salivation. This process of learning by association became known as classical conditioning.
Method of teaching is introduced in a step-by-step manner with proper sequence of the tasks. So before we proceed to the next learning theories, I will give you one of the four major theories under the behaviorism. And it is the connectionism by Edward Thorndike, 1874 to 1949. He is the father of modern educational psychology and founder of behavioral psychology. He started his research with animals using stimulus responses, classic conditioning, and developed the idea of connectionism, which define learning as a connection or association of the increasing number of habits. The impact of behaviorism into the curriculum is it will increase the learning relevant, enjoyable. Connection will be built on the student positive experience and negative feeling identify and modify to positive result. 2 is cognitive psychology. Cognitive psychology refers to the study of the mind and how we think. Cognitive psychology tries to build up a cognitive models of the information processing that goes on the inside people's mind, including perception, attention, language, memory, thinking, and consciousness. It is also focusing into the attention on how you as an individual process information and how you monitor and manage thinking. And one of the most known psychologists in cognitive psychology is Jean Piaget. He believed that children move through 4 different stages of mental development. His theory focuses not only on the understanding how children acquire knowledge, but also on understanding the nature of intelligence. Second is Howard Gardner in the theory of multiple intelligence, proposed that people are not born with all the intelligence they will ever have. This theory challenged the traditional notion that there is one of the single type of intelligence, sometimes known as G for general intelligence, that only focuses on cognitive abilities. For the last is the emotional intelligence by Daniel Goleman, the most often defined as the ability to perceive, use, understand, manage, and handle emotions. Number 3 is humanistic psychology. Learner is seen as a person who has feelings, attitudes, and emotions. social foundation schools operate within the framework of society, as well as the social culture impacts on their curricula. Curriculum and society has a reciprocal and all-encompassing interaction. Association between the curriculum and society are mutual and inclusive. As the result, curriculum should embody and preserve society's culture as well as its aspiration to remain relevant. Education systems are inextricably linked to society's institutional network. To understand how the content of schooling is shaped into every culture, one must first comprehend the link between education and other societal institutions. When designing a curriculum, the following question must be addressed. What is taught? How it's taught? And why it's taught? And what are the social forces that shape the curriculum? To what extent should the curriculum consider the world outside of the school? Or, how do changes in society affect curriculum? Knowing the social foundation of the curriculum is crucial in making decisions about what should be included in the curriculum and eventually what happens in the classroom. School exists within the context of society and influence culture, which in turn shape curriculum. The story curriculum of our school illustrates this point. A curriculum should be able to prepare a student for the present and the future. In other words, a curriculum should address your wants and needs by responding to social conditions locally, nationally, and globally. According to McNeil 1995, you may ask, why do I need to study algebra? I do not intend to be a mathematician, computer scientist, or engineer. The importance of such subjects in a curriculum may not be apparent to you as learners. Still, teachers know that solving algebra problems require true skills that not seems instantly important but will benefit you indirectly later in your life in many careers and jobs. According to Barks 1998, content is a valuable if it relates to the general body of knowledge needed by the average human being for conducting daily life.